There are certain things you have to do to prepare for sudden illness or injury. The first one is you have to have a financial power of attorney ready to go. If you are injured or you are ill and you are unable to do things like pay your rent, pay your mortgage, or in those circumstances, pay your health insurance, you need to have someone designated who can go into your bank accounts and pay those things for you. And a financial power of attorney can be very limited or it can be very broad, but you need someone to be able to keep you financially healthy while you're getting healthy. The next thing you want is a power of attorney for someone to help make healthcare decisions for you. And you also want that person to be able to know your health information, so you need a HIPAA waiver. That person is going to be able to make decisions for you when you're unable to make them for yourself. When you have to decide, or your doctor has to decide, which medication might be a better option or what course of treatment may be a better option. If you can't do it, have this document in place so that someone else can, someone you trust, someone you chose. And then finally, you want to give that person some guidance. And this is an advance directive. An advance directive is going to talk about things like end of life, how you want your end of life to go, but also how you want your medical treatment to go. Maybe you are part of a religion and you don't believe in blood transfusions. You can put that in there. Or maybe you're someone who you've lived a really long life and you don't want to be resuscitated. You can put that in there. Or maybe you want every opportunity to live. You want every feeding tube, you want to stay on every machine, whatever it is you want, you can put in there. Because your healthcare power of attorney and the doctors are going to follow what it is you ask for. These are the things you need in place, every single person 18 and up. But there's one more special thing. If you are a parent, you need to have a guardianship placed in advance for your child or your children. This is especially true if you're a single parent. If you have an illness or injury and there's nowhere else for your children to go, the state's going to have to step in and foster care is going to decide where your children go. And that might be with your estranged mother or your sister who is, not someone you want your children around, or anybody else. It might even be somebody your kids have never met before. And they're already going through a hard time if you are ill or injured. So have that guardianship paperwork ready to go so that if you are unable to take care of your children, someone else can step in. Estate planning is critical for anybody at any age, but I would say it's especially important for really young families. Young families have young kids, and young kids, they rely on their parents for everything. When you chose to have a child, whether you chose to birth them, adopt them, bring them into your family, you made a commitment to care for them and raise them until they became adults. And you have to honor that commitment even if something happened to you. And that means planning for their future and making sure they're secure. How do you make sure they're secure? Well, you're going to want to make sure that there's a guardian in place for if you're no longer around or if you're temporarily incapacitated, but mostly if you're no longer around, you want to choose who raises your children. I know it can be a heart-wrenching decision and really tough and full of family conflict and stress, but if you don't decide, the state's going to decide for you, and you have no idea what that judge is going to choose on any given day. Anyone you choose is going to be thoughtfully selected for your child or children, so make sure that you have that in place. And the next thing is make sure they're taken care of financially. If you have life insurance, and you should have life insurance if you possibly can, make sure that it is set up so that your children will be taken care of after something happens to you. You also want to leave letters of instructions to those who are going to take care of your kids so that they understand how you want them raised. Do you want them raised a specific religion? Do you want to emphasize school? Do you want to emphasize them going to college or a trade school? Do you want specific values instilled in your children? And leaving those letters of instruction can be really important. Young families, I know it might seem like estate planning is just for old people. After all, you're young. You don't really have much, or maybe you do. But if you have kids, because you're a young family, you have everything. You have the most important thing. So take care of your little treasures. You can't protect your estate from every single cost or expense out there, and some of them you might not even have heard of yet. But quality estate planning is going to protect your estate from some known costs. For example, estate planning is tax planning. And yes, we do work with tax professionals and financial professionals because we cannot give tax advice, but there are absolutely things you can do to minimize your estate's tax burden and the tax burden on those that you're leaving money to behind. You also can avoid very expensive attorney and probate fees by some really creative and some really strategic planning. And finally, when you're looking towards the end of life and you're looking towards potentially needing long term care and other Medicaid planning, estate planning can come into play that can really save your family a lot of money in that way too. Whatever your needs are, whether you are a young person at 18 or you're an older person at 108, estate planning is for you and estate planning can save you money. But you got to have the right estate plan for your stage of life.